According to one Sumerian clay tablet, the very first king of Earth ruled for 28,800 years. Not 28, not 280, 28,800 years. His name was Alulim, his city was Eridu, and his entire civilization ends in a single, chilling line. Then the flood swept over. If this is just a myth, why does Genesis describe the same world-ending flood? Why do the Akkadians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Hindus all remember a time before a global catastrophe, ruled by beings who lived impossibly long lives? Either the Sumerians invented 28,800 years of fake history, or they were remembering a world that existed before ours. In this episode, we zoom in on that one erased world, the reign of Alulim, the pre-flood city of Eridu, and the archaeological layers that look suspiciously like before and after a cataclysm. And by the end, you'll have to decide, is this just mythology, or are we living in the ruins of Civilization 1? We are the Seventh Civilization, Episode 2, Lost Civilization 1, the world that ruled 28,800 years before the flood.
This is not a fantasy novel. This is a real artifact, the Sumerian King List. It calmly lists kings and cities, and then drops numbers like 28,800 years, as if that's normal. For the Sumerians, this wasn't mythology, it was a record. The text begins with a strange phrase. After kingship descended from heaven, kingship was in Eridu. In Eridu, Alulim became king. He ruled for 28,800 years. The King List doesn't say, once upon a time there was a heroic king. It says, when authority came down from the gods, it landed in one city, Eridu, with one ruler, Alulim. And Alulim is just the beginning. King after king, with reigns that make our entire recorded history look like a weekend. So we have to ask, why would anyone invent fake history that long? Is this just exaggerated legend, or are we looking at a distorted memory of a world before ours?
To the Sumerians, Alulim wasn't just a long-lived man. He was the foundation stone of civilization. And his city, Eridu, wasn't just another city. It was the first. Archaeologists today know Eridu as one of the oldest known urban sites in southern Mesopotamia. Beneath the sand are the remains of a temple, built, rebuilt, and rebuilt again, layer upon layer. Each layer is a chapter, centuries, maybe millennia of continuous sacred activity, all in one spot. When the Sumerians say, after kingship descended from heaven, kingship was in Eridu, they're not casually picking a random town. They're pointing to the place they believed civilization itself rebooted. Now plug Alulim's 28,800-year reign back into that. This isn't just a long life, it's a single system, a single order, dominating the world for longer than all of written history combined. Longer than the rise and fall of empires. Longer than agriculture to smartphones. According to this clay tablet, that's just one reign in Civilization 1. Is it literal? Symbolic? Corrupted math from some older system? Whatever it is, it doesn't fit inside the story we're told about a linear human history that starts 10,000 years ago and only goes up. And then, the tablet does something bizarre. After lines and lines of impossible kings and cities, it draws a hard line between worlds. The text says, "Then the flood swept over." No explanation, no epic battle scene, just a sentence like a guillotine. On one side of that line, Alulim, Eridu, pre-flood rulers with inhuman lifespans. On the other, a brand new list of kings and cities, a rebooted world. Now compare that to Genesis, a world filled with violence and corruption, mighty men of old, men of renown, a warning, an ark, and then a flood that wipes the slate clean. Or the Akkadian Atrahasis epic. The gods decide humans are too noisy, too many, so they send a flood to erase them. Or the Babylonian version in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where Utnapishtim survives a world-destroying flood after being told to build a boat of the abyss. Travel further. Hindu texts speak of Manu, warned of an oncoming deluge. The Greeks remembered Deucalion and Pyrrha. Indigenous cultures from the Americas, Australia, Asia, Africa, all have memories of a time before a catastrophic flood. If the Sumerian King List is just local flood propaganda, why does it line up so eerily with this global pattern? Why does it echo the same structure we see again and again? A high civilization, hybrids, giants, men of renown, corruption, a warning, then the flood. The King List compresses it all into one surgical line. Then the flood swept over.
So, is there anything in the ground that even faintly resembles this story? In some ancient Mesopotamian cities, places like Shuruppak and archaeologists have found something strange: a thick band of flood-deposited silt with one kind of settlement buried beneath it and a completely different phase of civilization built on top. No, this doesn't prove a planet-wide flood. Scientists argue about dates, causes, and scale. But it does prove something important. At least once in this region, a world ended and a different one began on its ruins. Zoom out further. At Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, we find massive, sophisticated stone enclosures thousands of years too early for what textbooks say hunter-gatherers could build. In Egypt, pre-dynastic layers hinted sudden jumps in complexity. In South America, we see megalithic foundations under later, cruder construction. It looks less like a smooth upward staircase and more like a pattern. Build up, catastrophe, reset, build again on top of whatever survived. Maybe that's why so many cultures talk about ages before ours: the Golden Age, the Age of the Gods, the Age of Heroes. Maybe we're not the first version of advanced humanity, just the latest one that managed to stand up after the last reset. From that angle, Alulim's 28,800-year reign stops being absurd fantasy and starts looking like a distorted memory of a world so old we can barely see its bones. So what do we do with Alulim and his 28,800-year reign? Option 1, we assume a group of ancient scribes randomly invented absurd numbers. Then, by sheer coincidence, their flood reset story matches myths from all over the planet. Option 2, we take the clay tablets, the global flood legends, and the archaeological fingerprints together and admit something uncomfortable. We may not be the first advanced civilization on Earth. We may just be the 7th. Alulim and Eridu would belong to Civilization 1, a world that lasted longer than everything we call history and ended with a flood. But not every world ended with water. Some, the tablets suggest, ended in something far worse: war among the gods themselves. Sumerian texts hint at a conflict between the Anunnaki, a war in heaven and on earth that didn't just topple kings, it erased entire ages. Other traditions remember it too: a war in heaven, rebellious sons of God, fallen watchers. In the next episode, we'll follow that thread into one of the darkest resets of all: a civilization dominated by an Anunnaki civil war that may have wiped out not one, but two previous worlds. If Alulim's 28,800-year reign was Civilization 1, what kind of power does it take to burn an entire world like that out of the timeline? And more importantly, how sure are we that it won't happen again?